How many of you have an ex that haunts you? Can you say that they literally came back from the dead to ruin your new relationship? I know sometimes it can feel that way, but it can always be worse. This is 2015's Burying My Ex. Spoiler alert, while I might be giving you my opinion on the film, that's no substitute for watching it for yourself. Links to the film are in the description. And for those of you that need to hear this is just a movie. All stunts are for the sake of story and shouldn't be attempted on your own. No animals were harmed in the making of this film. Viewer discretion is advised. We open up in a cemetery, where we dive into a really creative opening credit sequence. Then we quickly shoot over to Max, who wakes up from a nightmare. Evelyn asks him if it was another one like the others, and he tries to let her go back to sleep. Max heads out into the living room where there are more women sleeping around Travis, and Max promptly wakes him up to talk. Travis comes into the kitchen without any clothes on, and he tells Max that he was able to get his threesome that he always wanted. Max reminds him that he isn't supposed to be using his place to go on his sex escapades, and he points out that if Evelyn finds out that he's there and doing his normal gross things, she'll end up losing it on them. Travis thinks that Max needs to nut up to Evelyn, who's ended up changing him so much. But Max tells him that when he meets someone as hot and considerate as Evelyn, he'll be more open to changing too. Suddenly, Evelyn comes storming out of the bedroom and kicks out Travis and his two friends. Then she promptly takes Max back to the bedroom for some morning fun. Once at work, Max goes through some packages that arrive, and he finds an artifact that he didn't order. It's a Satan genie, and the note attached to it says that he can make any wish he wants. He blows it off and calls Evelyn to come over to play naughty dress-up, and she pops over in a heartbeat. Evelyn is a horror nerd's wife material. Afterwards, Max brings up his dream of opening his own horror store, and Evelyn tries to tell him that none of that really matters. He tells her that to certain people it's a way to face their inner demons, and she mentions how he was able to help her face hers. When they promise to be like this always and forever, the Satan genie starts to smoke and glow. Later on, the two of them move into their new home, and they head down the street to have a malt. Evelyn isn't for it, since she's a vegan, but Max has her live a little. Once there, they meet Olivia, who's rocking out while serving horror-themed malts. Okay, maybe Olivia's wife material for a horror nerd. This is a great movie already. How'd this slip under my radar? I'm not sure Evelyn's the one to upset here, though. Evelyn goes off on Olivia for having milk in her ice cream, and they leave. When they get home, Evelyn tells Max that she was just upset because she felt like she was losing him in the store. He promises that she'll never lose him, and they go back to normal. The next day, Max gets a call at work, and Evelyn has him come home to see a surprise. Whoa, this makeover is definitely a surprise. Props to Evelyn for being able to get this done in less than a day, though. She loses all and any potential brownie points, though, because she folded his imported, autographed posters that he was going to sell for the down deposit on a space. My heart broke for him. Max heads over to the garage that Travis is living in, and he tells Travis that he thinks he wants to break up with her. Travis gives him some advice on how to handle the situation, and the next day, Max calls Evelyn at work to have her meet him at the dog park. She thinks that they're getting a puppy, but when she gets out of the car, she winds up getting rammed by a transit bus. She flew! I mean, the airtime on that hit was absolutely mind-blowing. Obviously she dies, but wow. Max, Travis, and a few random people show up for the funeral, and Max tosses a rose in the grave before heading back to the apartment. Once there, Max seems to slip into a depression and he lets himself sulk in Chinese food and old horror movies. Eventually, Travis shows up to check on Max, and he reminds Max that he was going to break up with Evelyn, though. Max can't help but think that if he hadn't called her to meet for the breakup, they would have figured something out. That night, Max heads to a double feature at the theater, and Olivia catches up with them when they leave. Max tells her about how he and Evelyn aren't together anymore, and she tells him that she just broke up with a born-again Christian as well. Max doesn't do anything about this, but Olivia takes a chance and invites him over to her ice cream shop. Ice cream shop all the way, I don't care if anything else happens at all. Some of the ice cream she had in that shop looked really, really good. While they eat their ice cream, they catch up on what happened with their exes. But Max leaves out that Evelyn literally died. They toast to the idea of moving on, and Olivia takes Max to the cemetery. As they play horror tag in the cemetery, Evelyn claws her way out of the ground and stands on her own 2 feet. Max and Olivia end up going back to the apartment where they make out on the front steps, and she eventually says goodnight. After Max goes up to the apartment, a knock comes at the door, and he opens the door to find Evelyn standing there. Evelyn literally comes straight through the door, and she tries to get him to the bedroom. Actually, she doesn't even make it that far. She tries right there in the kitchen. Again, this is a great movie. After convincing Evelyn to go take a shower first, another knock comes at the door, and it turns out that Olivia had a change of heart and wants to get it on. Well, now it's Max's turn to say that they should take it slow, and he manages to convince her to leave just before Evelyn comes out of the shower. When she hears him talking, she questions who he was talking to, and he tells her that it was an overnight FedEx delivery. Evelyn starts to pull on Max to get him to go to the bedroom, but she slips and breaks her neck on the ground. Within seconds, she's back on her feet and cracks her neck back into place. Then he remembers that this must have something to do with the Satan Genie. Then, Evelyn vomits embalming fluid on Max's face and he passes out. I would too, honestly. That's disgusting. In the morning, Max is terrified to see that all of that wasn't just a nightmare, and Evelyn tries to sleep with him some more. Max manages to escape to go to work, and he calls Travis. Max warns Travis that Evelyn's back and in his apartment, but Travis thinks that he's just tripping on acid that he left in Max's fridge. Max goes to get the Satan Genie off the top shelf, but he manages to drop and shatter the bottle. So he goes to an old book that gives him a recipe for getting rid of Evelyn, but that doesn't work out. Instead, Evelyn thinks that she should kill him so that he'll be stuck with her forever. But Max decides that it's a good time to go to a club. While there, Evelyn decides to down a whole bunch of shots of absinthe. Evelyn learns that the hard way as she throws up non-stop by the dumpster when they leave. But Olivia and her friend spot Max helping her. He manages to play it off as just helping a friend in need, and Olivia heads into the club with her friends. When Max and Evelyn head home, she tries to talk him into getting it on, but she's completely out of it. Suddenly, Travis shows up, and he thinks that Max dug up Evelyn's dead body. Suddenly, she wakes up, and Travis loses it. Travis runs out the door, and Evelyn tries to get Max to the bedroom again. Max gives her a bottle of alcohol again, and he runs out to catch up with Travis. Travis is done with this, but Max asks him what he's supposed to do. Travis tells him that he's just gotta break up with her, like he was originally going to anyway. When Max goes back inside, he finds Evelyn passed out, and he takes the bottle from her. As he moves the hair from her face, he bends over to kiss her cheek, and he really starts to think about things. In the morning, Max wakes up to find Evelyn cooking breakfast, and she sits down to ask him if he had thought any more about dying. Max decides that this is the best time to ask about taking a break. Needless to say, Evelyn starts showing signs of zombie strength, but Max saves it by making it seem like he doesn't think he's good enough for her. The next day at work, Olivia decides to pop into Max's work, and she drops off some food to cure the hangover she thinks he has. Leave it to Alexandra Daddario to make everything better. This would be the perfect time to just run for the hills with Olivia and start your own horror boutique / ice cream shop. Sounds like a good idea to me. Just as the two of them lean in to kiss each other, Evelyn decides to call, and Max tries to make a smooth exit on the phone. Olivia thinks that she knows what's going on, and she assumes that he isn't over his ex. She tells them that they're playing a horror movie the next night at the cemetery, and if he decides to be with her, she'll be there. Later, Max talks to Travis, and Travis tells him that Max needs to kill Evelyn all over again. Travis tries to come up with a way to kill her, and beheading seems to be the lucky choice. Max heads home and tries to get ready to kill Evelyn. Could you break up with her after seeing the way she does yoga? Could you break up with her after seeing the way she does yoga? It's a little disturbing, but overlookable, I guess. While Evelyn does her yoga, Max gets ready to swing the machete, but he ends up not being able to do it. He goes to Travis's corner to tell him he couldn't do it, but Travis says that he's going to do it for him. Max goes home to tell Evelyn that he has to work late that night, and he tells her goodbye. Evelyn can sense that something's up though. Max leaves the apartment, and Travis makes his way up the stairs. At the cemetery, Olivia waits to see if Max actually shows up, and when he does, she starts to get really excited. The two of them head in for the movie, but back at home, Travis is pushing all of Evelyn's buttons. Evelyn's also looking like she could decompose at any second now. And the only thing that looks like it might be doing well is her hair. That keeps growing after you die though, so I guess that makes sense. When Travis puts on his movie, he accidentally gives Evelyn a strange craving for brains, and she immediately starts to feast on him. Back at the cemetery, Max and Olivia head to her car to get frisky, but Travis definitely has his hands full at the apartment. He's actually able to keep fighting Evelyn, but she keeps eating him bit by bit. Eventually, Evelyn finally kills Travis, and Olivia and Max wrap things up in her car. The next morning, both of them wake up in her car, and Max immediately wonders how things went with Travis. He heads home and he finds Evelyn waiting for him just inside the door. She tries to tell him that she tried calling the store, but when he finds out that she ate Travis, he turns the conversation back on her. Suddenly, a call comes into the station about someone holding up a malt shop. Max knows exactly what's going on, and he heads straight there to find that Evelyn has already taken Olivia. He races home, and he tells Evelyn to let Olivia go. This takes awkwardness to a whole new level. Anybody that says it was really awkward for their ex to meet their new boyfriend or girlfriend has nothing on Max here. After making introductions again, Max tells Evelyn that they should have broken up a long time ago, and he tells her that it's time for her to be with her dead mother. Evelyn agrees, but she's going to take Max with her. A fight ensues with Evelyn whooping both Max and Olivia, but they eventually get the better of her. Suddenly, Travis rises from the dead, and he impales her with a machete. Needless to say, Travis is just as surprised to be alive as Max is. Now that Evelyn is officially dead, they all take her back to the cemetery and rebury her in her old grave. Max finally apologizes for not telling Olivia about Evelyn, but she interrupts him with a kiss. After that, Olivia goes back to running her ice cream shop, and Max sets up shop just on the other side. I called it! It's too perfect! They literally have a business plan that works perfectly with each other. They should have met way sooner than they did. They could have made franchises by now. Max then hands Olivia a ring, and she graciously accepts. After they finish kissing, we see that Travis is actually spinning the sign on the corner, and he's still trying to pick up women. Classic Travis. Then the credits roll. I'm surprised this one flew under my radar for this long. This is fantastic. Whenever you think that your situation with your ex can't get any worse, just throw this on. Give it a shot. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this one. Comment what you think I should watch next, and I'll see you in the next video.